investment in pre-primary education a critical tool in scaling up literacy in the country.
New policy direction to digitize and modernize premixed fuel distribution and the coal sector.
National Media Commission appeals to the legislature to amend its mandate for improved standards in the media landscape.
Ghana Broadcasting Corporation commended for enhanced reportage on road usage and safety.
And Ethiopia Tigray suffers another airstrike, killing and injuring many, including children.
Good evening and welcome to News Hour right here on GTV and GBC News. My name is Jonathan Thompson.
My name is Samuela Kwote.
And Robert Frempong-Manso is the one bringing us the sign language. Now to our first story. The Ghana Statistical Service has presented a preliminary report on the 2020 population and housing census to President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House in Accra. Key among the recommendations made by the GSS is the need to invest in pre-primary education, which is critical to the scaling up of literacy in the country.
And housing census showed that though the number of people in the country has increased fivefold to 30.8 million since independence, the rate of growth is declining. Compared to the 2010 census, where the population growth rate was 3.1%, it has dipped 2.1% 10 years down the line. Also worth looking at is the youth bulge, which needs special attention to ensure burden becomes a benefit. This, according to the Statistical Service, should be through a targeted policy in the educational system aimed at improving upon the quality of human capital.
Now that we see the pyramid, over time we're going to see that it's going to move upwards, so the dependency ratio is going to go up, where we're going to have more of the aged population. And the threat in here is that if people do not save and invest around this time, the aged population will continue to depend on the youth.
President Akufo-Addo lauded the GSS for the level of efficiency it injected into the 2020 census and pledged the government will give attention to the recommendations made by the GSS.
We're very grateful to you, your staff, your team, for the work that has been done. We're happy that the bulk of the work is now being completed and that we have an idea now of the size of our population and the important data that the census is going to yield for public policy.
Also at the presidency was the Governing Council of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA, led by the chairman of the GIMPA Governing Council, Mr. P.C. Kofi Asante. He appealed to the government to provide accommodation for students of the institute.
If we had hostels, for example, we could attract students from all over the country, from Tumu, to wherever. And then we could also deal with our ECOWAS people. ECOWAS, we organize courses for them, but because of accommodation, they can't send many graduate students.
20 copies of the quarterly publications made by GIMPA with focus on issues of national importance were presented to the presidency. Edward Nyakun, reporting for GBC News.
The government is to roll out a new policy direction to digitize and modernize premixed fuel distribution and the cocoa sector at the closing ceremony of the 4-day Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives Orientation Conference in Accra. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, said these measures will sanitize and improve these sectors. He says it will ensure efficiency and better the lives of the players in these sectors.
These 250 metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives have been endorsed by their respective assemblies to serve as the link between the central government and administrators at the local level to spearhead government development projects and policies. As standard practice, both the old and new chief executives are required to go through this orientation conference to increase their awareness of Ghana's governance framework and the job requirements of the chief executive. Their duties as chief executives were laid bare at the forum, and they were also equipped with the knowledge, skills and attitudes needed for effective leadership. Officially, the orientation conference has ended, but first-time MMDCEs will receive further training on their new office. At the closing ceremony, the Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia urged them to focus on the government's transformation agenda and asked that they translate them into development projects at the local level.
You have a very, very important role to play in the transformation of this country and in the success of this government. If you are successful, then Ado Danko Akufo-Addo and the MPP will be successful.
Dr. Bawumia spoke about the new policy direction to modernize premix fuel distribution, the cocoa sector, and property rates.
Next year, we are digitizing the Lands Commission so that we can get rid of the land gas phenomenon in many places. We are digitizing even fertilizer distribution. We are doing the same for fisher folks. We are taking all their data and we will digitize premix distribution next year in this country. We are digitizing the cocoa industry and cocoa farmers.
Dr. Bawumia challenged the MMDCEs to live up to expectation since their success at the local level is a plus for the NPP administration and success for the nation.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has officially opened the 2021 World Skills Ghana National Competition and TVET Expo in Accra. The plan is to harness the potential of the Ghanaian youth and nurture their skills to shine on the world stage. When he opened the expo, Dr. Bawumia said this is critical because we live in a world of skills and not a world of degrees, and taking the right steps to groom and develop such skills of the youth to make them global competitors is the best way to go.
The World Skills is a global hub for skills excellence and development. It is a platform for international cooperation and development between industry, government organizations and institutions. World Skills promote the benefits of and the need for skilled professionals through grassroots community projects, skill competitions and knowledge exchange. Ghana has been part of the association since 2018. The National World Skills Competition puts a lot of emphasis on how important skills education and training is for youth, industries and society by challenging young professionals around the country to become the best in their respective skills area. This is through its competition dubbed the National Skills Competition and TVET Expo to reward young people with brilliant ideas. There are 14 skills areas for this year's competition, ranging from welding, bricklaying, carpentry, mechatronics, software solutions for business, graphic design technology, fashion technology, and beauty therapy, among others. 73 young Ghanaian youth are competing. Dr. Freche Asamoah, Director General Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, said the competition is now a grooming ground for TVET transformation in Ghana.
TVET, we all know, provides the youth with relevant skills to make them ready for the job market as we are entering this complex world. It also boosts the employability of adult workers through skill upgrade and reskilling.
Germany's ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Bernard Krug, said Germany will assist Ghana to develop her skills training.
You need qualified labor if you want to attract investment, either foreign or national investment. And so this is why we believe this is crucial, and this is why Germany was ready to provide over the last 5 years 50 million for the TVET sector. TVET designed a very exciting voucher program and is implementing it, and I just recently heard that the World Bank is so interested in chipping in and expanding this kind of model.
Deputy Minister for Education in charge of TVET, Mrs. Gifty Chumampofu, said TVET education is growing and the Education Ministry will continue to invest in the sector.
Gone are days where you say you're going to do TVET. They will say that for Amma, she's so daft, she go and learn some trade. For Kwesi, she can't do anything good. So you also go and learn the trade. But we've gotten to a point where the state-of-the-art TVET equipment and investments in infrastructure that we're doing in TVET, we have realized that TVET is not meant for the second-class individual, but it's meant for the la creme, la creme.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia said skills development is key on government agenda. A number of initiatives will be introduced to harness the potential of young people.
For sustainable development to occur, there is an urgent need for us to pay significant attention to training highly skilled human resources to serve as key drivers of the economy. A Ghana beyond aid could only be possible when the youth are equipped with competitive global skills and introduced to various skilled careers. We are today in a world of the fourth industrial revolution. It is a world of skills. It is not a world of degrees. And I'm happy that Ghana is the first country in West Africa to join World Skills International.
One lucky winner out of the 73 competing will represent Ghana at the Africa World Skills Forum in Namibia.
The National Media Commission is appealing to the legislature to amend the commission to give it more bites to enforce its mandate of ensuring journalistic standards in the media landscape. At a consultative meeting with the lawmakers in Parliament, the chairman of the NMC, Mr. Yalbuedu Ayeboafo, said NMC Act 449 in its current state is not strong enough for his team to effectively work.
The National Media Commission Act 449 in the 1992 Constitution empowers the Commission to take all appropriate measures to ensure the highest journalistic standards in the mass media. This law is expected to enable the NMC to take measures to penalize media organizations who operate contrary to this provision. But according to the Commission, the Act does not allow beyond ordering for a rejoinder, asking for a retraction and an apology. The chairman of the Commission, Mr. Yalbuedu Ayeboafo, said the Commission lacks the resources to perform this role. He said the law must be amended and the legislature can ensure this.
When the Commission has not been empowered, for instance, to close down a radio station that has created some mishap that we are all incensed about, the time has come for us to put in measures that would not just tolerate anything, but that which would deal firmly with some kind of situations. Then the Commission must be given that power and authority, and that power can only come from Parliament.
The minority leader, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, said while the legislature is ready to amend this law, the NMC should extend its role to include hate speech and misinformation.
The National Media Commission, as part of your mandate, you necessarily must request the Minister for Communication and the stakeholders within the sector to declare a cut-off date for Ghana's transition to digital radio and television.
The Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Mr. Oseche Minsabunsu, agrees the National Media Commission has been disadvantaged for a long while and supporting them means helping the growth of Ghana's democratic governance.
The Volta Regional Caucus in Parliament from the minority side saying the President's response to Aflao Chief Toby Amenyafiti about the uncompleted E-block is offensive. They complain that Toby Amenyafiti is not the only chief who has reached to an abandoned project and are therefore asking for an apology to the people of the region.
Toby Ajongaga Amenyafiti V, Daho, of the Aflao traditional area deserves praise for prioritizing education and speaking out against the culture of abandoning inherited projects. He does not deserve such disrespect from the President of the Republic of Ghana. The President's conduct, which we do not see him exhibit against chiefs from other parts of the country, is a total affront to the entire Volta region and the Aflao traditional area in particular. We demand a retraction and apology from His Excellency the President. A united Ghana with a common destiny is undermined by such conduct of the President. Going forward, I will be launching a GoFundMe account for donations to finish the e-blog, and I entreat all Aflauvio and well-meaning Ghanaians to donate generously.
The National Democratic Congress, NDC, has debunked a statement by the Deputy Chairman of the Electoral Commission in charge of corporate services, Dr. Eric Bosman-Asari, that former President John Mahama, in a recent address to the public, accused the EC of printing 1 million ballot papers for the new Patriotic Party in the 2020 general elections. Briefing the media in Accra, the General Secretary of the party, Mr. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, said the National Democratic Congress has taken notice of the EC's decision to investigate the statement made by the former president. He emphasized that the NDC expects the EC to take steps to restore confidence and credibility in the electoral process.
President Mahama never made such claims. What he said was that the NDC discovered an excess of 1 million ballot papers printed on the blind side of its agents, and that in the days leading up to the elections, some individuals were arrested in possession of printed genuine ballot papers which bore the EC's validation stamp, and we stand by that position. The general public will recall that prior to the printing of ballots, the NDC raised an alarm that the Electoral Commission failed to give political parties ballot statistics. The refusal of the EC to supply parties with the statistics timeously gave way for the printing of excess ballots that were widely distributed across the country, particularly in Ashanti region, to compromise and to rig the elections.
When he visited the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC on Thursday, the acting DG of the Ghana Highway Authority, Mr. Christian Nti, commended the public service broadcaster for its reportage on road use and safety, especially in the areas of vehicles adhering to the accepted weighbridges and axle load weigh rules. Mr. Christian Nti, an engineer, said overweight vehicles reduce the lifespan of roads and therefore the need for continuous public education, especially by the GBC, which is not centered on sensationalism and also has a wider reach. The Ghana Highway Authority and the GBC are therefore to collaborate in these areas.
The problems of thefts at toll booths, alleged connivance of personnel manning these toll booths, overweight vehicles on highways, and many more are a drain on the nation's office. With the responsibility for the administration, control, development and maintenance of the country's trunk road network, the Ghana Highway Authority believes this cannot be carried out without the collaboration of the media, especially the GBC.
We need to, as a nation, understand the negative impact of overweight and then the overheight trucks that are destroying our bridges. One day the bridge can collapse and be a national disaster. So going forward, you help us to educate people. And also we see people encroaching on right of way. Right of way is an envelope along the road corridor, which has been earmarked for future expansion and development.
Reflecting on some common history between the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the Ghana Highway Authority, the Director General of the GBC, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, assured of the corporation's support in all spheres. He, however, called for the speedy reconstruction of the road leading to some strategic national facilities like the Ajangote transmitting station, which has not had any facelift since its construction in the Nkrumah era.
We want to appeal that at least for Ajangote, we will need the support and help of the Ghana Highway Authority to ensure that the road is hard so that we can comfortably travel up. Especially, it's not just going up, it is cutting materials like fuel up to the top there.
Mr. Christian Nti joined the mid-morning show on Unique FM, where he commended GBC
for its new focus of moving the corporation from bureaucracy to business. He also toured other departments of the corporation and interacted with some staff. For GBC News, Shirley Anand reporting.
Now, some health workers who operated in various hospitals have over the years been busted for selling babies. In the latest news report, 4 persons, including a retired midwife, allegedly involved in the stealing and sale of babies at Atuabo and Have Asene in the Western region, have been nabbed by the National Investigative Bureau. And Accra Circuit Court on Tuesday remanded the 4 into the custody of the NIB. In an earlier interview with GBC News, the president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Mrs. Perpetual Ofori-Ampofo, condemned the practice and called on the law enforcement agency to deal ruthlessly with such law breakers.
It's a difficult issue for us to think about because it's an inhumane activity that they have involved themselves in. It is unethical and it is criminal. And for us, we feel that the law has taken its course. And we cannot show even an involved in the anyway. When you look at the kind of training that midwives go through, it is such that it affects you with the language skills and all the that you need to understand the standards, the protocols. When you take midwives, for example, in Ghana, you can have those who go into street diploma training. We have post-nap, we have those who have degree, and then we have the specialists at the Ghana Council of Nurses and Midwives. At all these levels, they are trained with the necessary knowledge and to appreciate the patient and the client and to understand the humanity attached to our practice as professionals.
The lenses of citizen journalist Niamatu Yaya captured scenes of brisk business on the streets of Kaswa in the central region. Reason being, a modern market constructed for use is only opened for traders on Tuesdays and Fridays. On the other days, the market is under lock and key. Foreign traders back onto the streets. Forcing traders back onto the streets and exposing them to all manner of danger.
Markets are a very important feature in every economy. Kaswa holds one of the biggest markets in the Awutu Senya East constituency of the central region, with people from far and near coming to engage in business there. Traders deal in different varieties of foodstuff, clothes and other commodities. Trading on the street has long been a problem for traders. Effects on the scorching sun and the associated dangers on the road if, for example, a vehicle veers off its lane. Relief came when authorities constructed a modern market for traders. However, it seems to be operated under a shift system. Traders can only sell there on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Tuesday, Friday. And so for small child, yeah, sad and man or you know the lad, yeah. I was a man, people don't go yeah, and I was a number, I said, I want
They argued that the street is not conducive to ply their trade. The traders are therefore calling on the Awutu Senya Municipal Assembly to make selling at the new market a daily affair. This, they say, will help improve on their standard of living and cut down on the number of accidents involving traders along the street. Meanwhile, traders at the Kaswa Old Market are also pleading with authorities to construct bigger gutters and more drains within the market for easy flow of water whenever it rains. With the current narrow gutters, portions of the market get flooded as the gutters cannot contain the volumes of rainwater.
Traders at the Marlon Market in the Ablikuma North Municipality in the Greater Accra region are sounding alarm bells about threats they receive from land guards in the area. They are drawing the attention of the authorities to the fact that the site of the Marlon Market is being claimed by disputing factions, hence the ordeal they suffer from the land guards. The traders want the president, the IGP and the local authority to intervene.
From foodstuff to clothes and other general goods, the Marlon Market sits in a prime location on the Kaswa-Odoko Highway near Marlon Junction. According to the traders, the sanitation situation in the market is not the best because the site used to be a refuse dump before it was reclaimed for the market. This, however, did not come with appropriate facilities to make the environment conducive for business there. In recent weeks, their woes have been further compounded by the activities of land guards who terrorize and extort monies and goods from the traders. They claim that an ownership dispute between two local chiefs in the Gbawe area is the reason for the constant assaults by the land guards. The leadership of the market told our news team that their businesses are suffering. Mr. Nat Beaumont is the manager of the market.
They said they have made laws against land guard. So what is going on in Marlon Market here, we can't take it anymore. Our women says they will be on the street if the authorities, Mr. IGP, can never bring new Okufu-Obuo, Ni Papanku and his people to book. They will be on the street naked to the Jubilee House.
Other traders narrated harrowing experiences at the hands of the land guards and called on authorities to send help.
Things get worse when it rains, but the land guards and thieves are making life worse for us. We need help. I
have encountered the land guards 3 times, and they threatened my life. Something must be done. We
have taken loans for our business, so we need peace to work. The fielding faction should settle their issues in court and leave us alone.
The most pressing need for these traders is to feel safe in their business environment. They also want better access roads and proper sanitation facilities. A functional car park situated behind the market stalls is in fairly good condition, but even that piece of land is under litigation and has also been rented out by the land guards to persons who are putting up structures, also for commercial purposes.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture has received a check for 10,000 Ghana cedis in support of this year's Farmers' Day. The donation was made by New Age Agric Limited. The supply chain manager, Mr. Edwin Nate, on behalf of the company, presented the check to the ministry. The check was received by Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Mr. Mohammed Hadi Tufeiru, and was thankful to the group for the gesture. This is the first donation towards the celebration of the day, which comes off on 3rd December in the Central Region. The ceremony recognizes the contribution of farmers and fishermen to the economy each year. This is News Hour on GBC News and GTV. We'll be right back.
It's